Alright guys, so I've had a lot of people reach out to me asking me about the modifications on my Eskute Nova Mini. So when I got it out of box, I am actually a 5'11", 145-ish to 150 pound rider. I was getting stock with the stock controller about 30 miles an hour. With my weight and my height, but the modifications that I have on the bike, just to overview everything right now, I changed out the silver sprocket, the rear sprocket, to a 60-tooth black sprocket just to kind of match the overall look of the bike. I spray painted the wheels a hyper shift black purple to a greenish color, like a greenish gold or a greenish orange. I went ahead and wrapped the side plates where the battery cover sits, just so it looks a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, and kind of getting rid of the orange a little bit and transferring the orange to be more of an accent color. Same to the front tire. I plan on wrapping the forks with the same color wraps on the side. The only additional things that I have bought is the controller and a 48 volt to 12 volt converter, and that is just to give the lights power, the headlights power, so I can regain all of my turn signals and brake lights and things like that. Although I will say I do currently have the brake sensor switch disconnected and unhooked from the turn signals and the headlight, all of that stuff. As of right now, that's how I have it set up, just because I need to redo the whole wiring harness for the entire bike. So as of right now, brake sensor switch is disconnected. That's the wire that you see here. The wires that are off and through here are either wire harness or just connectors. And all I did is took the old connectors from the existing stock controller and soldered them to here, or just pressure crimped them into place so I could reuse those connectors to make it painfully easy to wire this bike up. Besides the hard part, which is your battery terminals and your motor wires, I went ahead and direct soldered motor wires because I don't want voltage drop, and I don't want any funny business between connectors, loose connectors, anything. I wanted to eliminate the whole sparking issue, loose wires, or anything that could go wrong with this bike with a direct solder approach. I did find a spark arrestor XT90 at my local hobby shop. This thing cost me right around $10. Which I just have as a different means of disconnecting the battery to the controller. That way, if I ever needed to take the battery out, I could, while leaving everything wired in correctly. The underglow kit is not currently wired into the light system, just because I want to find a hidden way to switch it on and off, with it being, and I just want it on a switch, essentially. The throttle is just a 3-wire throttle on this specific controller. You need it to be going to an ADC1, and I went ahead and bought the TFT monitor for this specific controller, which was just, I believe, $30 additional charge on this controller, and that's just so I can get all the readouts, switch modes, things like that. The only thing that's currently not working on this is the mode switch. But everything else is very self-explanatory. Even the monitor itself has its own specific plug on the controller. Everything has its own little plug that you can either crimp or splice into, tap into, or however, if you need to de-pin these, if you want to clean up these little loose wires that I have, where these are non-using wires that I don't use at all. Everything's kind of nicely tucked up under there. I can put everything back the way it's supposed to, and it rides perfectly fine. I do have, the only thing that's different is I have GPS locators hidden on the bike just in case someone steals it. But yeah, everything's still stock on the bike, stock headlights. You can actually see the lights are on and working. Turn them on and off. Turn signals still working. Hazard lights still working. But as you guys can tell, the bike is actually completely off. So this does still have power to it while the bike is off, just because it is tapped directly into the battery and not the key switch. And that's because I have to draw 48 volts to this power supply, and then out from the power supply, that's what this is, directly to my Alright guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw up the screenshot of the phone. I'm not gonna go over too much of this. I'm trying to make this short, sweet, to the point. This isn't a paid video. No one, Eskute hasn't sent me this bike. The controller I bought myself. Everything was bought myself, so I'm not gonna go over anything or glorify any of their products. I'm not telling you to go buy it. This is just something that I've done myself. So this is the beginning of the app. I'm going to go ahead and connect. I'm just going to run through all of the things. So here's the real-time data that I have set up currently on the bike. And we'll go, don't use negative, that shouldn't be there. So it has topped out at 40 miles an hour. This bike on a good day will hit 32 with no wind and on a flat surface. But let's go ahead and go to motor configuration. These are some of the things that I mess with on here. Field weakening, I have 45 amp. Field weakening starts at 80.5%, which we could probably just keep that at 80% and write that to the controller. Then I'll go to general current. I'm pushing 135 amp motor current to the motor, currently with a max absolute maximum current of 177. This is all just kind of low end right now, just because I wanted to keep things relatively stock without pushing a huge amount of power to the motor or having any problems with the controller. Battery, I have it set at 40 amps. You can definitely set this at 45, not any higher than that. I don't have any regen set up currently, and that's something that I would set up in one of my profiles if I wanted it. Let's see. RPM is relatively basic, set at 115,000. Let's see what else. Let's go to app. This is the ADC. That's what your controller is, or your throttle is set at, and I have it currently set at current. And if you go to mapping, what I have done and what I have messed with and I felt comfortable doing so is I have input deadband at 8%. That means at 8% of the throttle is when it's going to start kicking in. Everyone knows that has ridden this knows that the stock throttle input starts around 20% stock. This is the stock throttle. It now starts at 8% throttle. That's relatively all that I have on here. I'm going to leave you with real-time data of the bike readings as we go for a little bit of ride as the video ends.